Hi everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. So this one today is a bit like we did last year. It's a bit of a reflection on 2024. We're calling it State of the Oval Address as a play on words with the what America does. But the purpose of this video is really to reflect on 2024, display some plans for 2025 to let you guys know what to expect from us, but also to add accountability as well. There's no way that I can hide away from these goals once they're out on YouTube. So firstly, let's reflect on what we did in 2024. And it already feels like a million years ago that we did a lot of this stuff. We had our first large commercial project, which was 100 kilowatts, which was a challenge, but was so rewarding that we got it done. And we're really proud of that. I'd say that's probably our proudest job from last year. That pushed our knowledge on both the solar side of things, but also on the health and safety side, the organisational side, lots of other elements that you don't think of when you're doing mainly domestic stuff. Since then, we've been involved with other commercial jobs. That's still our biggest one, but it's looking really good for 2025 for getting some other large commercial jobs in. And we've now got one that we can use as a case study for any other clients that want that. So that was a real highlight. We also had lots of turbulence, as many businesses do, with staff, with cash flow, with all these different things that every company suffers from. So we lost 2 members of staff last year, one for personal reasons and the other one for performance reasons. And that's the reality of having a business. You have to be sometimes brutal, and other times you have to be, just take the rough with the smooth. We didn't want to lose one of our electricians, but that's what happened, and we're still working with him closely on other projects as a subcontractor, which is really good. And so it's tricky. It's tricky to run a business. I think one of the main things that I'm proud of is that we're still here, because many companies do fail within their first few years. We're around, I think, 3 years old now, and things are really, really strong, looking really, really good. You never know what's around the corner. No one would have predicted COVID a couple of years ago, the whole Ukraine war and everything like that, which has had different effects on different businesses. So I'm just really proud that we're still here, we're growing and we're pushing on, and things are looking really bright for the future. We also had a bit of a personal / business one where my wife Jess came back, who's a shareholder in the business as well, who is the glue that holds a lot of that office together. During her maternity period, I was trying to hold the office together as much as I could whilst being out on site and pushing the on-site side of things on, as well as trying to improve and push the office side on. And towards the last few months, until she came back, it was quite tricky to hold that together. So it's been a breath of fresh air, Jess coming back. We also had the absolute privilege to set up the Renewables podcast with my good friend Mark Allison from PowerSonic and Apprentice 1-to-1, and that's where I'm sat now. This is our little podcast area that we set up at Oval HQ, where we're chatting to loads of industry leaders in both kind of install sides, so other companies like ourselves that are maybe further on than us, or that are further back than us, just starting in the solar and battery side of things. But it's great just to get all these different perspectives, but also people like MCS, NAPIT, NIC, loads of different organisations that often don't actually chat directly to installers, or maybe not in the way that we do. So that's been really good to do. And 2025, there's big plans to keep pushing that out. And so if you don't already follow or listen to the Renewables podcast, that's another great way to just have a bit more of a longer form chat around a specific topic. So that's been an absolute privilege, and thanks very much to Mark for inviting me onto that. What else have we had? I'm looking to my notes here because I quickly forget. Last year was the year of the process for us, and it's the first time we've ever set a goal like that where has got a headline. One thing that I've been guilty of in the past is setting a goal that is about effectively burning the house down to then rebuild it in a better way, rather than setting a goal that is to improve a specific element within that company. Because in reality, a lot of the stuff that we do is the right thing. It's just it could be made slightly better. And what we found was that a lot of the way that we processed people inquiring to us, people, for new jobs, or people bringing in an issue that they're having on site. Those things like that were actually really labour intensive. And the issue with that is that you're spending a lot of money and time just trying to get those onto a system that you might have. So we invested a lot of time and effort on trying to make the whole process of how people get in touch with us, how people log their information with us about wanting a new quote, where that automatically goes to, but also making sure that when one person finishes a task, it automatically sets the task for the next person in the chain. And a lot of that isn't seen by customers. That's all part of our background systems. But when I started that year of the process, I wasn't actually sure what I was going to get out at the end of it, because we didn't really have a really robust process. Now, it's never finished. It's not a thing that you can ever finish, I don't think, but it's something that we are 10 times better at now. We're automatically sending customers text messages, email chasers, and looking for reviews and loads of different things. And it just means that I don't have to be sat there going, please do this next, please do that next. Tasks are being completed, being ticked off on the system, and then other tasks are being automatically assigned to the next person on the chain. And that's really important, because it means that, frankly, I can have a day off and know that the system is backing me up and making sure that everyone in the company is getting set their next task. There's always those edge cases where it doesn't quite work out for, but even if it's for 80% of the jobs that we do, that is a massive time saving for us. So that's been a really good one. We also had the bombshell in the industry in 2024 of the PAS document, PAS 63100, and that was around the location for battery storage systems. There's been a lot of debate about that subject on the Renewables podcast that we film here at Over Renewables HQ. And what we found is that there's no real consensus on it, unfortunately. We've taken the view, and it's to our detriment in some cases, that we want to make sure properties have the right smoke alarms in, batteries are fitted to this PAS document as best we can, because ultimately, if something goes wrong, even if the customer didn't want it to be in the garage or on the external wall, if something goes wrong with that system, I'm sure that a customer would not be holding their hands up saying, I take full responsibility, I asked them to put it there. I'm pretty sure that it would come back on us. And so we're protecting ourselves, but also when we look at it with engineering judgment, which is effectively what we have after the years of training and qualifications, we understand why it's been put there. And the reality is that we don't want something that we install to increase the risk of a family not being able to get out of the house, because potentially, smoke alarms were going to add an extra £1,000 to the job, or the battery being outside rather than in the utility room was going to add an extra £500 to the job. Ultimately, that customer is hiring us as a professional company and professional tradespeople to advise them properly on where this equipment should go, and taking into consideration all of the regulation, but also the professional guidance, which this PAS document is, on where this stuff should be fitted. So that's been a bit of a battle, because we have lost jobs over that. We've lost jobs to companies that are wanting to just put it in the loft, or put it in the living room, or wherever it is that is the place of least resistance. Whereas for us, we've gone, no, we need to stick to this document as closely as we can. And if we don't stick to it, we need to have a very good reason why not. And that means that a lot of the time, the jobs that we put out there are slightly more expensive, because we're having longer cable runs, more work, so more labour time, smoke alarms, so more equipment cost. There's more to it than just the bottom figure. And so part of our challenge in 2024 was realising that, and going into 2025 is working out how we put that to customers better. Because I've got a firm feeling that when customers know the difference between having a system that is PAS compliant and having a system that isn't, then I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times a customer will go for the PAS compliant one. So a lot of that is just messaging from our side to make sure we get that over to customers in the right way. So 2025, what have we got planned? So we've got some big things planned in 2025. Everyone always says that. Everyone always says we're here to take over the world. And the reality is what I'm focused on in 2025 is we've still got the year of the process. That's continuing. but that's taken a slightly back step from what our new yearly goal is. And this is the year of the team. The biggest asset any team has got are the team members. and so what we're doing this year is we are investing in making sure the team members are compensated for their time. They're giving us as a company their time, a bit like I am, a bit like Jess is. Because we're the owners of the company doesn't mean that we're not giving our time, we are. We're making sure that team members are fairly compensated for their time, but with things that are specifically important to them. So it's not just about pay rise. It's about different ways that we can actually give them some benefits, for example, health insurance or a company phone or whatever is most important to that employee. So that is what we're looking to give them. We're also investing a lot in training and trying to just keep our team improving, because ultimately that will give our customers the peace of mind that they're dealing with a team that knows what they're doing, that invests back into the team. It's not just about pulling the money out of the company and not reinvesting it. We reinvest a lot of money back into the company to make it better. We're here for the long term. We're not here for the next couple of years and disappear and run away with the money. We're here for the long term. We want to support our customers with their system, which is always pretty much a medium to long term investment. And part of that is making sure we invest in our team that ultimately are the ones going out to service these systems, look at these systems, install these systems, but also speak to customers on the phone, advise them on the phone, and just bring the knowledge into the company rather than it all just being about the money, which it never has been for us really. We need the money to allow the company to continue, but for us it's about being passionate about what we do and what we install and doing it properly. So the areas of the team, so it's the year of the team, the year of the process is continuing in the background. We're still developing a lot of that. We've got a really good foundation in there now, but we're still pushing on with that. But I suppose one of the big things that we're doing in 2025 is we are going into heat pumps. So it's very easy to say that, but there's been a lot of umming and ahhing around whether or not to do that. And for us, we get asked a lot about heat pumps because it's natural. A customer is getting solar, battery, EV charger. They've then got maybe an oil boiler or a gas boiler that's maybe coming to the end of its life, and looking at what they can do to reduce their bills and maybe get rid of a service into the house like the gas, so they're not paying extortionate standing charges, and also make even more use of their solar and battery by running their heating with it. And so that's one thing that we're looking into. There's been a lot of planning and preparation going into that. And so spring of 2025, we are going into installing air source heat pumps. So if you're interested in that and you're watching it, drop us a message and we'll get you on the list, and we'll contact you in due course on that. But I'm really excited to get back into that. My background, I've got a good background in heating. I did quite a lot of biomass, air source heat pumps, and general gas boilers as well, and oil boilers in terms of the electrical control side. So I'm really looking forward to restarting that within Oval, because we haven't done anything like that since we started a few years ago. We're also releasing something called Oval Care, which is all about servicing and maintaining heat pumps, but mainly solar and battery installations, because we haven't even really started that in the UK. A lot of it is about installation, and unless you've got a commercial installation where the insurer is forcing you to have that looked at every year or every 2 years, there's no real push to look at any of these domestic systems. And some of these domestic feed-in tariff register systems have been on people's roofs for about 10 years now, and they've maybe never been looked at, never been cleaned, never been checked. And so those customers could be missing out on a lot of feed-in tariff revenue, because they might be getting paid around 60, 70 pence per kilowatt hour now for what they generate on the feed-in tariff. So us being able to service those and keep them up to speed and keep them working as much as possible will hopefully increase the revenue that customer gets. But it's also about the installs we've done and other companies have done, and actually checking that it's working correctly, checking that there's no signs of burning, and we've got a whole list of things that we check. We're releasing that this year as well, just to try and keep those systems running, do preventative maintenance so that it's not that we have limited downtime on any of this stuff. So that's something that we're releasing this year as well. The podcast is also a big part of what we're doing this year, so we continue to push that. I've got some really good guests lined up across all areas of industry, air source heat pumps, plumbing and heating in general, the electrical side, solar battery, the accreditation side, MCS. We've got so many people planned to come on, and we're really, really looking forward to pushing that forward. One of the main things with it being the year of the team is really about withdrawing me and Jess from working within the company to working on the company. Because what I find tends to happen is you get drawn into the day-to-day stuff, and that is fine. There's parts of that need to happen. But with it being the year of the team, we're wanting to give people some responsibility to run parts of the company so that we can look from above and go, that bit needs changing, that bit needs improving. I've got things that are in my mind that I've wanted to change about Oval for a long time and haven't been able to do it because the time is just not there to do something like that. Whereas now we're investing in the team, we're wanting to give those people responsibility, remove ourselves from some of the day-to-day stuff and actually put back into the company the changes that we know it needs to make it better for customers. That is our main focus, that customers get the best service, best installation, because ultimately we can't compete on price. We want to be competitive, but we can't compete and offer the lowest price, because ultimately we wouldn't be around if we did. And unfortunately, I feel that's the route that a lot of companies will go down, trying to be the cheapest, be around for a couple of years and then fall back onto doing whatever they did before. This is our business, this is our specialism. We are going to be around for a long time, and the only way we can do that is by earning enough money to cover us, run the company and push us forward. And so with heat pumps as well, we've got a lot of essential infrastructure in people's homes now that we are being trusted to install. The heating system, the generation system, the storage system, the transport system with EV. When you're getting that installed for the cheapest possible price, you're putting a lot of trust in someone that is earning very little from the project. That's what we're aiming to do for 2025. But I want to hear from all of you as well. What do you want to see from us in terms of content? What would you like to ask us if you have any questions? We're wanting to bring you guys in even more onto the content and basically hear from you. What do you want to see? What do you want us to do? And we'd love to take any questions and I'll answer them as best I can. So any questions that you've got, please leave in the comments. Thanks very much for watching this bit of an update video. And I look forward to seeing you in 2025.